The Kevin Durant drama continues. I'm Robin Lundberg here with Ashley Nicole Moss. And Ashley, after it was reported that KD gave Nets owner Joe Tsai an ultimatum, it's either me or Steve Nash and Sean Marks, Tsai took to Twitter and stood by his guys, saying he wouldn't relent to KD. And here's the thing for me. I'm for player empowerment, but at some point, player empowerment becomes player entitlement. And KD has to look in the mirror a little bit here about this situation. It seems like the Nets have catered to his needs since he's been in Brooklyn. And for all the drama around Kyrie, and Kyrie deserves a lot of that blame, it seems like KD was as much his brother when it comes to bringing drama as well, the more we learn about this situation.
Yeah, I feel like this situation, I don't know who's advising Kevin Durant, but I think he went about this a little bit wrong. Anybody knows whether you're a billionaire or not, people don't necessarily respond well to ultimatums, right? And I feel like, or at least I can't help but feel like, had Kevin Durant gone into the situation, into this meeting, particularly with Joe Tsai, prior to requesting a trade and said, hey, look, I'm not happy with the front office personnel. I'm not happy with my head coach. I need a change in order for me to stay here. I feel like this situation could have gone drastically different and probably in Kevin Durant's favor. But now you're going to your billionaire owner, and not that, him being a billionaire makes or breaks things, but people with a lot of money tend to have a lot of ego attached, right? Now you're going to him after requesting a trade, after having this whole, discourse happen in the world of basketball, and now you want to go ahead and cop please and throw ultimatums my way. I'm not a big fan of that, and I don't think Joe Tsai is either. But look, he shouldn't cut his nose to spite his face, and by that I mean Joe Tsai. This is Kevin Durant we're talking about. It's not like Steve Nash is the second coming of Phil Jackson or Eric Spoelstra or Steve Kerr. You can definitely get a coach at his level or even better out there in the world. Don't lose your star player by trying to prove a point. Just don't do it. It's just not a good idea.
Look, if Steve Nash had been fired after the season, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. Even Sean Marks, I guess, though he deserves credit for making the Nets desirable for free agents in the first place. But I don't think that the franchise can ever have self-respect if they just relent to these demands right now. Number one thing I try to do is find a trade for KD. But if you can't find a trade that meets your price or at least comes within reasonable lengths of meeting your price, I tell him see you in the fall. He's got 4 years left on his deal, so the Nets do still have some leverage. Now, Durant may wind up winning this whole standoff in the sense that he eventually gets traded if that's what he really wants, but he does come off as a loser in the public eye, given that this was supposed to be his franchise, his team. You watch his old team win a championship, and you watch him ask out and do it in a messy fashion.
Yeah, it's definitely not coming across favorable for Kevin Durant. And one more point that you spoke of, look, this is not going to be favorable when it comes to renegotiate that CBA, right? The owners were already kind of apprehensive about these massive contracts that they're handing out to players that ultimately request trades in a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, not seeing their full contracts through because they're unhappy with the situation that they're in. Now you have your star players not only requesting trades, but then demanding changes to the front office, to head coaching personnel. And look, that by itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it's not like we haven't seen it before, and it's not like we won't see it again. But I just think the sequence of events is not looking favorable for Kevin Durant, and it's definitely going to unfortunately leave a bad taste in the owners' mouths when it comes time to renegotiate that CBA. And I would not be surprised if there are some unfavorable clauses in that the players are not happy with, because certain players have gone ahead and made that now have a target on its back.
Yeah, Adam Silver's already said some stuff about not liking this, but one thing you can't say about the Brooklyn Nets is that they're boring.